Hi, beautiful souls. It's Laura Allen, and welcome back to the Positivity Keys podcast. If you've been on this journey with me, you know that we've explored why presence matters in episode 1 and how tiny touches can spark big change in episode 2. Today, we're going to be digging into the why behind it all. Why touch truly is medicine for your brain, your body, and your spirit. You don't need a prescription or a fancy gadget, just the simple power of connection. Maybe you've noticed how a hug can soften your shoulders, or how running your hand over a smooth stone can calm your racing mind. There's real science behind those experiences. Our bodies are wired to heal through touch. So in this episode, I'm going to share a personal moment when I felt restless and I found restoration simply by touching our Tulip Poplar in my backyard and by walking along the riverbed. Then we're going to unpack neuroscience, oxytocin, cortisol, mirror neurons, vagus nerve, and how they heal. Finally, I'm going to give you 3 simple researched back practices to make touch your daily medicine. Ready to feel better from the inside out? I know I am. So just the other day, I felt that particular familiar itch of restlessness. My mind was buzzing with tasks, and my shoulders, they were wrapped tight in tension. I needed a reset. So I stepped outside into my backyard, and I placed my palm flat against the bark of our old tulip poplar. Now, this thing is like over 100 years old, and it's like, I don't even know how many stories tall. And it is just an incredible tree. And its mottled surface, it felt cool and steady beneath my hand. I closed my eyes and I inhaled the sweet scent of spring leaves, and I exhaled my racing thoughts. Sometimes I crave water instead. So on those days, I slip on my shoes and I head down to the riverbank. And in the late afternoon, the light dances on the current, as I watch over off this, there's this like walking bridge that I get to walk over, and I get to stand like up on top of the river. And each ripple, it seems to wash away all my layers of stress. So whether it's the tulip poplar's quiet strength in my backyard or the river's gentle song that it plays for me, these nature touch rituals, they anchor me. In both places, for a full minute, I pause, breathing deeply, feeling grounded, and I let the energy of the earth and the water fill me up. When I come back inside, I carry a wave of calm with me. My thoughts, they're clearer. My shoulders, they're softer, and my heart is more at ease. You know, these simple acts, touching my backyard tree or going to the river's edge, they remind me that healing can be as easy as leaning into the world around me. So that pause by the tree or the river wasn't just poetic, it was chemical. So here's what happens when you engage with the touch key. Oxytocin, the trust hormone. Caring touch, whether from a person or nature, it triggers oxytocin release. This neuropeptide strengthens bonds, reduces fear, and even lowers your blood pressure. How about cortisol, the stress hormone? Chronic stress floods you with cortisol, which impairs your sleep, your digestion, your immunity. Studies shows that affectionate contact, even self-touch or a tree or river touch, it can cut your cortisol levels up to 50%, shifting you into a rest and digest. I mean, seriously. Mirror neurons, your empathy network. These brain cells, they fire both when you act and when you observe the same action. Watching or feeling nature's soothing presence engages mirror neurons, if I can say that correctly, giving you a mini dose of calm. How about your vagus nerve, your inner calmer? So rhythmic, gentle touch, stroking bark or water, stimulates your vagus nerve, boosting your heart rate variability, and signaling safety. So when you blend oxytocin, cortisol reduction, mirror neuron activation, and vagal engagement, and you've got potential healing cocktail there. And that's why I call the touch key medicine. It literally rewires your stress into safety, isolation into belonging, and overwhelm into clarity. So here's 3 practices to make your touch your medicine. Number 1 is self-hug and heart hand pause. We've talked about this before, but this time cross your arms completely over your chest and place one hand on your upper back and the other one over your heart, and just gently squeeze for 30 seconds. Breathe in for 4 counts and out for 6. And this self-hug, it's going to release that oxytocin and soothe your nervous system. Your nature grounding ritual. Visit your backyard or your favorite riverside spot or wherever you can into nature. Lay your palms flat against bark. Put them in water. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply for 1 full minute. You know, you can even trick yourself in the bathroom when you're washing your hands. If you close your eyes and you feel that water over your hands and you pretend that that is a pond or a river, your mind doesn't know the difference. So let Earth's stability be an anchor for you. Extended medicine hug. With a willing partner, friend, family member, or spouse, give and receive a hug that lasts 20 seconds. Research shows that hugs over 20 seconds, they maximize oxytocin release and deeper stress reduction. Make it a nightly ritual to reconnect and recalibrate. So for a bonus, go for the mirror neuron moment. Watch a short clip of water flowing, remember the hand washing, or leaves rustling. Notice how you feel. That mirror neuron activation gives you a mini dose of connection. And this week, weave at least one of these practices into your daily routine and journal how your energy, your mood, or your sleep shifts. If you feel comfortable, share your favorite moments. I'll feature your stories and remind that our community, that we're truly connection, is the best medicine. Next week, we're going to close out June by exploring how the touch key can repair your relationships and launch our 7-day touch key challenge. So until then, remember, healing is at your fingertips. Reach out and feel the difference. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next Wednesday.